Hello and welcome to another episode of Flipkart for India. Here's an interesting fact for you. India is a country that has 29 states and 22 languages. While this is great and shows how diverse our nation actually is, there are a few communication problems that come with it, especially for the ones who stay in the heartlands of India. So, to offer more convenience to the consumers from smaller towns and villages of India, Flipkart offers a local language interface that helps the local customer come online, shop, and do business with Flipkart. To discuss this more, we're going to get you the head of engineering, product, and data sciences. Everybody, make some noise for Mr. Amit Z. Yay! Woohoo! Hi, Amit. How are you?
Great, how are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm very intrigued to find out what the Z stands for.
Well, it stands for my last name, of course. It's Zunzarwad.
Zunzarwad? Did I get it?
Yeah. Very few people get it. Abish, you're one of them.
Oh, come on. That's so sweet. It's incredible how someone who has like a complex last name, which people find very tough to pronounce, is the man who's heading voice for Flipkart. Could you tell me, first of all, your journey with Flipkart so far?
Well, it's been incredible. I've been at Flipkart for 8 years now, 9th running, and I've played various different roles. And right now I'm responsible for bringing people who have never shopped at Flipkart to come and shop with us. Do you shop at Flipkart?
Yes.
Okay, then you're not my customer.
Okay, cool. Then this conversation now is not needed. Nice to meet you, Amit. It was great in contact. Guys, wrap up. This is done. He doesn't want to talk to me now. But good. Your objective is to reach out to people. So could you tell me a brief understanding of what is the demographic that's not on Flipkart? Like, who are you trying to get on board?
These are people who are digitally very young, meaning people who have spent less than 1 or 2 years using internet, not internet dinosaurs like you and me. People who don't speak English, which is majority of them. Just to put things in perspective, of about 700 million people who use internet in India today, 500 million people don't even know how to speak or read English. And if you look around, all the internet apps are actually in English. So really focused on that the next 500 million sort of a user base.
Okay, I have a question. What all languages are available right now at Flipkart?
So we started with Hindi last year, and about 4 months back, we extended it to regional languages, starting with Southern India, Tamil, Telugu, and Kannada. So total 4 languages other than English we are available in now.
Are these languages merely just translations, or are they more in depth of how people talk?
Well, it is obviously the latter, right? I mean, you and I, we grew up in India, right? And we know that no one speaks any language in its complete purity, be it their own mother tongue or regional language or even in English. People sort of intermix a lot of these jargons, right? To give you an example, when somebody, let's say, says it's a mind-blowing product, and if you were to just do literal translation, it would mean Utpad Udane Ka Man. What does that even mean, right? I mean, people don't even call product an Utpad. Most of the Indians understand what product means, right? So we do what we call as transliteration there, and we actually translate that as Lajaba product. To give another very, very simple and very important example, I'm sure all of our phones hang, right? So when people ask, does this phone hang or is it hanging? The literal translation means, kya ye latak raha hai? Right? Versus we actually do translation saying, ye hang ho raha hai, right? So that gives you a flavor of how we look at translation as a problem, and how we customize it for how Indians colloquially use some of these languages and their pronunciation.
When you first introduced all these languages, did the audience like jump onto the opportunity, or did you see a slow rise in numbers?
Oh, it has been a phenomenal journey. In less than a year, about 8% of all our users are coming from non-English languages. And if you look at new users, right, the two cohort that we are going or we are solving this for, more than 20% of our new users today, just with 4 languages, in under a year, come and visit Flipkart in non-English languages. People who use Flipkart in non-English languages, 95% of them, they continue with that language, right? So it also tells you how much they really wanted it And without this, they would have never sort of experienced the magic of e-commerce.
So wait, will the next question be redundant? Because I feel like you've already answered that. But have you seen it impact the lives, or have you seen it impact their shopping behaviors because of this one feature?
Absolutely. What we have seen, and I'll tell you a very specific part, right? When a user comes to an e-commerce platform, right, she doesn't immediately buy, right? They sort of browse a bunch of product, visit a few times, and then finally they choose to buy product. The journey of being a visitor to a customer is actually much shorter in non-English languages, right? So that tells you that people actually feel a lot more comfortable making their purchase when the information is shown to them in the language of their preference.
Good. Like I said, that question was already redundant. You had already, but right now I got some specifications. Okay, Amit, tell me about the voice functionality on Flipkart. Like if I was, let's say, I am a new customer who stumbled upon Flipkart, and then there is the voice feature, and I'm afraid to press it. But what is it like? How would you pitch Flipkart voice to me?
Well, if you have never shopped online, how have you shopped? Right? You go to a shopkeeper and you talk to them, right? And this capability is exactly that, right? That how do we make e-commerce a lot more natural, a lot more like how you have been shopping all along. We only recently started figuring out how to, let's say, develop a written script. That is about 2000 years back, right? And we have only started to use the internet only about 25 years back, and use keyboards only for 20 years. But the humankind knows how to speak since the time they existed, right? So it is very natural, and we want to bring all the goodness of internet and online shopping in the way that you have naturally been trained to shop. So that's what voice assistant stands for.
Oh, wow. What's the difference between voice and say about other voice assistants on phones that exist?
Our voice assistant is focused on how to make shopping a lot more easier and natural. When we met a bunch of users while building this capability, we realized that a typical average Indian customer requires a lot of, I would say, hand-holding, conversation, expert help, be it from the shopkeeper or their friend or their son when they're going for a shopping, right? So our voice assistant is a lot more conversational, where it assists you in helping you make the right decision, right? As you're buying products online. And that's the core difference, right? That we are shopping focused and we are a lot more assistive and conversational in nature. And again, not very pedantic like the robotic voice assistants. We are also very, very Indian in nature. And just to give you an example, when you're done shopping and you want to check out, you can simply say, Bhaiya bill bana do. And the checkout process starts. Yeah.
Seriously, Bhaiya bill bana do, and you will actually get the checkout.
Absolutely.
What other Easter egg, what other hidden Easter eggs are there? Okay, I'm going to make a note of this. Bhaiya bill bana do. What else is there?
Well, this is not an Easter egg. It's a capability, because that's what we saw. Like people would typically speak when we were doing usability testing, right? That's one of the things that we do before we roll out a product. To give you a few more examples, right? You could say, "Aaj kuch meetha khane ka man kar raha hai," and you will get the sweets, right? You could say, "Chicken Valley Maggi de do," right? And when we serve the results, you could actually say, "Dusre wale ke 4 packet de do," right? And it will add the second item in the list that you see on the screen and 4 quantities of that in your basket, right? You can say, "Sabse sasta rice dikhao," ya "Aaj ki deals kya hai," right? Very, very natural the way users would speak. And I don't know if you noticed, I was interchangeably using Hindi and English in the same sentence, right? So we have built our voice assistant for how Indians speak, right? So it's very Indian in nature, made in India, made for India, and it is making all the shoppers Atmanirbhar.
So basically, Amit, what you've just told me is that if you go up to Flipkart and use their voice feature and say, "Kam kar do, baaju wala kam mein de raha hai," it'll actually drop the prices down. Is that true? Is that? Are we getting to a future like that?
Abish, I just realized that you could actually join our company, because this is a great capability, and we should definitely build that. I think it will definitely unlock a lot more customers like you who definitely
Yeah.
like to haggle before buying a product.
Wow, I think you know your customers really well. I appreciate you have a good insight on that.
Abish, we are actually working on the next version wherein you don't even have to speak. You can just think, and it will be served in your like in your plate.
No,
So
I am not signing up. My brain thinks of a lot of things which I can't afford half the time. You know, the amount of Gulf Stream standing in Bombay that would be if my brain was always supposed to buy everything. Okay, what is the future of the voice? Because I feel like this is the kind of future we are heading towards. Could you tell me how Flipkart is leading this future ahead with voice assistant on Flipkart itself?
sure. So just the way natural interfaces on a mobile device truly democratized access to technology, right, for many people around us. I mean, imagine my mother wouldn't have used internet if it was not for a very easy to use mobile phone, right? We believe voice holds that kind of a future for 10 times more users, right? And that's the future that we are really working towards, where how do we build it, of course, for all languages and all the dialects, right? I mean, India has 22 recognized languages, but we all know how many different dialects there are. So how do we build it for all Indians? How do we build it for all the different use cases, right? Not just finding a product, right? But let's say if there is any issue with any of the product or orders, can you simply talk to the assistant instead of calling a call center? Who wants that, right? Or do you want to go and say, hey, what are Alia Bhatt's most favorite styles, right? Which is inspirational discovery, right? And then taking from there and building for all the different use cases that are there, and then really sort of stepping out of the mobile phone that today it lives in, right? We would want our assistant to be omnipresent, where imagine you're sort of cutting vegetables. I don't know if you cook, but if you do, if you're cutting vegetables in kitchen and you're out of veggies, you could simply talk to, let's say, a speaker and say, hey, reorder my weekly veggies, right? So think about those that evolution happening over the next few years.
Nice. So you're basically saying that when I'm in the kitchen, I usually always, when I'm cutting one tomato and I realize there is no onion, there's no garlic, there's no ginger, there's no vegetable, I'm always like, oh God. Instead of that, I just have to say, Flipkart, can you just order food for me, please?
And with Flipkart Quick, you will get that in 30 minutes.
Oh, see, good plug, great plug, great plug there. Amit, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to attempt doing your name one last time. Here we go. Thank you so much, Amit Zunzarwad. Did I get it right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you are lying. I can see it with a smile. I know that hurt you a little deeply when I said it. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming and talking to us about the future of voice. I personally use voice a lot more than I type because it gives me a lot of headache. But if I'm using voice, so I'm very excited to see how well it recognizes my voice. Especially I say, भैया बाजू वाला कम में दे रहा है काम करोगे क्या?
I think, Abish, a lot of our users would definitely love our assistant sound more like you. So maybe there is an alternate profession waiting for you.
Well, if you want me to audition, then sure. आपका खाना ready हो जाएगा Flipkart पे. Is it? Do I win?
Yeah, I think good start. But if you could keep practicing till we get our technology ready, I think we could talk in a few months and get going. So
done. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amit. Lovely speaking to you. Have a good evening. Bye. All right, everybody. That was Amit Zunzarwad. Nope, I'm sure I didn't get it right. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. It's been a very long day for you, but it's been a very exciting day for you as well. I'm going to see you tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Adios.